Ahead of Saturday's Champions League final in Kiev, Sportsmole selects a combined 11 from Liverpool's class of 2004-05 and the current crop. Liverpool will descend on Kiev this Saturday, looking to write a new chapter in their rich European history when they take on Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Not since 2007 have Liverpool reached such a big stage, and the last time they lifted the famous trophy was in 2005, when they pulled off the Miracle of Istanbul, coming from 3 goals down at halftime to beat AC Milan on penalties. Then, as now, the Reds went into the match as underdogs against another European heavyweight, although their chances this weekend are generally ranked significantly higher than they were on that famous night in Turkey. Liverpool's starting 11 that day included the likes of Djimi Traoré, Harry Kewell and Milan Barros, whereas AC Milan boasted a wealth of talent throughout their star-studded side: Dida, Cafu, Alessandro Nesta, Jaap Stam, Paolo Maldini, Gennaro Gattuso, Andrea Pirlo, Clarence Seedorf, Kaká, Andriy Shevchenko and Hernan Crespo was their lineup for the final. Liverpool's trip to the final this year has also been unlikely. It wasn't quite as improbable as their run 13 years ago, when they beat Juventus and Chelsea on the way to Istanbul. There was a high-class core to that side, though, and here Sportsmole attempts to create a combined 11 from the current crop and the class of 2005. Goalkeeper is perhaps the weakest position in this team, with Loris Karius and Jerzy Dudek both having developed a reputation for making the odd error. Dudek's performance in the 2005 final was gigantic, though, and he was every bit as important as those in front of him in keeping Milan at bay. A scarcely believable double save to deny Shevchenko in the 117th minute took the game to penalties, where his Bruce Grobbelaar-inspired spaghetti legs helped Liverpool to lift the trophy, again thwarting Shevchenko with a decisive spot kick. In defense, Trent Alexander-Arnold pushes very hard for a place in the team, but the embryonic nature of his career sees him miss out to the ever-consistent Steve Finnan. Finnan's style may not be as conducive to those in front of him as it was under Rafael Benitez in 2005, but his defensive solidity would no doubt come in handy against Madrid's dangerous attack. On the opposite flank, Andrew Robertson puts forward a similarly strong case for inclusion, but he is also in the early stages of his Liverpool career, so John Arne Riise stays ahead of him for now. Centre-back also sees another member of the current crop narrowly miss out, with Virgil van Dijk's arrival having helped to significantly shore up the Liverpool backline. Jamie Carragher and Sami Hyypiä are 2 of Liverpool's greatest ever centre-backs, though, and both played a huge role in the 2004-05 campaign. Hyypiä's goal against Juventus helped them past the Italian giants, whereas Carragher's heroic performance in the final while suffering from cramp in both legs has gone into Liverpool folklore. Xabi Alonso started the 2005 final in a holding midfield role and is a surefire inclusion in this starting 11, having scored the equalizing goal in Istanbul after missing his initial penalty. Steven Gerrard is also guaranteed a place in the team, kick-starting the comeback with his looping header in the 54th minute and going on to inspire the Reds with a man-of-the-match display in his finest hour. The remaining midfield spot is harder to fill. Dietmar Hammond's halftime introduction in Istanbul was a major reason behind the turnaround, as he quelled the influence of Kaká, who ran the show in the first half. Luis Garcia also holds a special place in the hearts of Liverpool fans for his Champions League exploits that season, but James Milner gets the nod as the first inclusion from the current squad. Milner's 9 assists in this season's competition is a Champions League record, and while he hasn't always been a guaranteed starter domestically, he has played a huge part in their European run. Jurgen Klopp's side have been poorly represented so far considering the perception of the two teams, but there is no doubt that they get the front 3. Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino are officially the most potent trio we have ever seen in a single Champions League campaign, combining for 29 goals between them. Considering Barros and Djibril Cissé were the main strikers for Liverpool in 2005, there is no competition at the sharp end of the pitch. Read next. Gerrard, Liverpool must deliver, greater than.